Hey there, Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we are going to talk about how to use the soaP framework, step 4, P for progress, to supersize and grow your business. This is a framework I actually started using back in 2020. During the pandemic, I'm like, okay, how do we keep moving in all the craziness that's going on? Because every single one of us, almost everyone on the planet, was impacted one way or another during the shutdowns of 2020. I don't know what they're going to call it in the future, but it was a crazy time. Millions of people actually ended up losing their businesses entirely. There was apparently tons of fraud that was associated with this pandemic and all kinds of things. So I'm not going to get into that because that's not in any of our control. But we are going to get into how do we use this soaP framework. And the reason I created it is I was like, okay, I need a problem-solving decision-making tool that I can use on whatever crazy thing that comes up next so I can keep moving forward. And I just looked at the steps that I already use to solve the problem or to deal with either a challenge, a setback, an obstacle, a change in the law. In business, a lot of times legal things change in how we do or do not do things. And I always I still run all of my businesses way, way above and beyond what would ever be required by regulation. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. And we're all in business, at least if you're listening to me, to make the world a better place, not to cause more chaos and craziness. So progress. How do we know that the action we took yesterday, and I'm assuming you took an action yesterday to start to fill the gap between where you are and where you want to be with the thing that you're looking at? I'm looking at creating a 10K MRR, which stands for monthly recurring revenue community on the school platform. That's a couple of years old, but it's a platform that actually is community first and focused on communities, which is something I personally have felt lacking since I left corporate America in the early 2000s. Wow, that was so long ago now. But it's a great platform. I'm moving a lot of stuff there, so this should be a pretty easy do or task for me personally and for all the other people that are doing the same thing. So how do I know if what I'm doing is working or not? Well, it's pretty easy. It's a revenue-based goal. So either I'm increasing revenue or I'm not, right? Or I'm increasing revenue one day and I do something and it goes backwards. Then I have to stop, pause, and ask myself, did what I do actually cause that impact? Or was it something I did 2 months ago that I set in place and now it's having an impact? That's part of our job, is to have a way to measure things so we know if we're moving in the right direction or not. Now, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of times when I've looked at all the infinite possibilities, I've selected an action or an alternative or an option on that little list of at least 10. I've taken a massive action step, and instead of going forward, I've actually gone backwards in the thing that I'm measuring. Now, are there positives that outweigh the thing that I am measuring? I take that into consideration as well, because sometimes we change something and take an action and we don't know instantly, like the next day, whether it's had a positive or negative effect. And so we have to choose, are we going to let that roll? But if I'm going to let it roll, I'm probably going to take another action and have a way to measure that on top of it, because the way we really get momentum is by taking massive action. If I know it's working already, I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to do that same thing again today. If it's up in the air, I don't know, I'm going to tweak and do something slightly different and find a way to track that as well. I hope I'm being clear in explaining this. If you have any questions about this, please reach out and ask. It's something that helps the whole cycle, because then we know what to do next, right? And a lot of times our most important question to ask ourselves is, okay, what's next? What do I need to do next? And maybe I just need to get out of the way and let it take some time. That's super hard for some of us. I was just thinking, I just pile on the actions, and then all of a sudden we break through the thing that we're trying to break through, and we get the results and the success that we truly want, desire, and deserve. So that's the soaP framework. I like to cover the soaP framework every month. I think I've been doing it since 2020. 2020 and 2021, I just did 30-day challenges every other month. So I only covered it every other month, but I'm sure I did videos every day. So I'm sure I talked about it at least once a month, every month of 2020 and 2021. So I was just getting comfortable with the framework. And soaP just seemed to be super appropriate for the times when it was created, because, and even prior to that, I spent 35 years making handmade Italian food and running a handmade Italian food business as one of my longest running businesses. And that meant we washed our hands a lot. I washed my hands a lot. And so soap was already, washing my hands was already a part of my life when the pandemic hit, but it seemed like a really great acronym for the time. I wanted to get bars of soap made up and things. Maybe I will still someday, because I'm going to not stop using it. It's already ingrained in my subconscious, and I don't think I could stop using it even if I wanted to. Unless I came up with something better, then I'd just replace it. But so far, I like it. It's easy to remember. It's easy to do. I don't take 4 days to use this framework anymore. I will notice something. My subconscious automatically sends me through that process, and I take action and do what I have to do. Or if it's a biggie, if it's a big deal, because guess what? Big stuff comes up all the time. I will consciously go through each of the 4 steps, because I want to take it out of my subconscious. And, you know, sometimes our subconscious, it always has our safety and security in mind, but it also has the ability to keep us stuck in a rut, rolling through loops of thoughts and processes that no longer serve us, or were never ours in the first place. I realized not too long ago, I had some old boss thinking, and somebody brought off the topic of what ifs. And I had negative associations with what ifs from one of my previous bosses in corporate America. I mean, that was a long, long time ago. Why on earth would that be popping into my head? That was my second job in corporate America. Why would that be anything that I let impact me now? So that's the cool thing about becoming more self-aware. As soon as we are aware of something, we have the ability to let it go and change it, or let it continue to rule our lives and our decisions and our goals and our objectives and our results, which is the biggest one that makes me want to change it. All right, if I can help you anyway, all you have to do is ask. If you're not sure how to measure progress because you're doing a more subjective thing, ask about that too, because guess what? There's always a way. All right, if I can help you anyway, please ask. Otherwise, I will, of course, do it tomorrow.